afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacaster from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero Strike, Defender of the Fatherland. Off here to an exciting 1 versus 1 on Mint Pocket between the south. You got here Dots, fighting for King and Country, the Commonwealth, the Guards Armored Division, pushing through here the forest held by the German Army under the command of CPUEC. Fighting here for the 349th Volksgrenadier Division here with Jaeger Infantry, Elite Troops, and German Mechanized with Panther Infantry Mine Bulletins. Note, that's his name. He's calling himself CPU. So there's a bunch of people just call them, CPU something. So, quick note there. Versus Tactical Support Mobile Assault and Rolling Guinea Regiment here from Dots with Infantry, Sapper, and Grenade Bulletins as well. So some interesting choices there. We got triple section start here for Dots, pushing out aggressively with Infantry as CPU goes for the standard MD42 Grenadier start. Both players, I might be focusing on getting the few points up and going as soon as possible. Pioneers heading eastwards, MD4 turning down the center, Grenadiers heading westwards. Sandbags up here to help defend the point, makes it hard for the opponent to rush, makes it easy to defend it. Also, you can't use the sandbags and sort of contest the point at the same time. So, it's also a nice setup there by Dotsy. Third section out. First section moving up here westward aggressively by the way, pushing up munitions, more sandbags. This time they're not quite as sort of forwards up here. Interestingly enough, again here considering a car a bit more, but then again you might worry, again here it's too close to the other bit, doesn't do much, and here I know later with stuff exposed, whereas this one sort of can sort of carry yourself against both approaches. So in that regard it makes more sense when you're compared to here. There's not so much here, so again you just want to have it forwards. Moving up the section in the east side. But obviously, if he goes for a fourth section of the Vickers machine gun, he does go for a fourth Vickers, and of course with grenades, there's a high likelihood, I would say, of bolted sections. Well, I mean, some British players are currently just into very heavy intersection builds with grenades to back them up. MD42 moving down the eastern side here. Pioneers grabbing the eastern munitions, or at least attempting to. MD42 sending up. We've got the section moving out to the line of fire of the Schweres Maschinengewehr, and there we go. Meeting under fire, immediately suppressed. Nothing further going on there in CPU's base. Pioneers from the north catching the section out in the open. Sweeping in there and aggressively tagging. Of course, suppressed. If they keep getting fired at by units, they do remain suppressed. Right here, Dots is in a bit of a sticky situation as CPU's Pioneers move in. In the south, this section getting the Pioneers out in the open, firing away there. Dots here is pushing onwards. Do we have any tech up? No, we do not. No bolsters, no grenades, nothing there for Dots. He sweeps up here. Grenadiers moving down there as well. We got a sniper build out here for CPUEC. Grenadier MD42 sniper, interesting choice here. Of course, versus the Brits can be reasonably effective unless they go for a sniper and they get yours. But in other situations, they can certainly put some bleed there on Dots and certainly helps ignore the fact that the British infantry section, to an extent, is bulletproof and it can't encourage to go out in the open. Out using cover after the previous patch, which I definitely still think is a bit of a mistake personally. We got Universal Carrier on the way there for Dots though, so interesting enough, Universal Carrier into not grenades or sort of like that anyways. Again, he's got a lot of sections, but he's not immediately supporting it. It could be, of course, he's seen that CPUC doesn't activate a lot on the field here. He might be anticipating a sniper, and thus he's going for the counter in the Universal Carrier, which would of course be a pretty good move there by Dots. Could certainly put some pressure there on CPU's sniper. Section opening up. Most Lee Enfield rifles, about to call Mosin Nagants, versus the scoped Gewehr for the Fleet, which was not really a common sniper rifle by the German army, due to being less powerful, due to the whole semi-automatic thing rather than bolt action. There you go, section pushed back. He's spotted the sniper, but that's about it. And we got the Universal out here, and he's actually popping a section into it. How rare. North, you get a section firing against the Pioneers, so they sort of threaten at least one of the cutoff points, and the other cutoff point could be in fact right about now. In fact, it is happening. It's going to be cut off from his fuel there. Very good moves here, I think, by CPUEC. Catching Dots with guard, but again, Dots might be able to throw CPUEC off here with a section inside the Universal Carrier. Just don't see that very often. Finding it happening, and Dot looking good there for Dots. MD42 Pioneer combo again, proving to be quite magnificent here around the cutoff point. Yes, been able to grab it back, but it won't be lasting long. And there you go, you must go again for the sniper, hunting it down. Then this moving up with the Panther Faust. What will Dots here do? Popping out the section, falling back, but he is going to get Panther Faust there by the Grenadiers. Hit there, knocking out the engine for a bit. Got the section doing what they can out in the open, but there you go. Second Grenadier squad nearby, and the Universal goes down, and he gets abandoned. Oh, that's some bad luck there for Dots. Bad luck. There we go though, gets it. Back here we got take up, still no upgrades for the sections. I'm a bit surprised. I mean, again, he's been rather laying up to it a lot here with the lots of sections, grenade bulletins and everything else. So I'm a bit surprised. Obviously he's worried about the sniper right now, so he's going to go for a counter sniper zone after the investigator. Well, rather met a unfortunate end at the German defenders. And this brings forward into the section A in the east. Pioneers moving in for the eastern fuel point, and the west point's being secured there as well. Grabbing territory there, and continues for the section here. Shots being fired back and forth. In this case, the heavy cover in this case turns out the advantage. Not so much for grabbing the point and holding it, but at least, you know, giving Dotsy a hard time. What he could have done, actually, set it up further behind the tree. That made it a bit harder for the Germans to sort of use it properly. I mean, that's one way of using light cover. You can actually use it, set up heavy cover behind it, and they'll only get the light cover bonus. So that's a neat little trick there. Sniper they're moving up with the Boys anti-tank rifle, which is not really something I think the British snipers used. I know some snipers used anti-tank rifles to clear up bunkers, but that's about it. That is about it. Going up through here. Skirmishing there. And down here, healing reinforcement going for Dots. Nothing further happening for him. No sign of technology happening. Close here, close. And second push back here with the MD42. So far, Dots remains in the defensive versus CPU easy. As the Germans keep launching assault after assault and just keeps pressuring using machine gun and sniper, the 349th Infantry Division or Volkskammer Division is proving rather tricky to deal with here for Dots. Again, I am surprised that he's not really trying to pull into there, but there you go, knock out the AC on the way. But again, despite all that setup, he's not quite unleashing it fully. And meanwhile, CPU is going here for a very heavy tier 1 by the looks of it. 4 Grenadiers, MD42 Sniper. Noting also neither side has yet to commit to a doctrine versus the other one. Section moving up the eastern side. Got the MD42 covering at the centre here. Bit risky with the sniper, but we could go for Jaeger infantry and pop ambush camouflage on it. At which point it's going to be a bit harder for the sniper just to creep out without necessarily getting a fist or a face full of machine gun bullets. So there'll soon be an AC armoured car here on the way for Dots. Again, I'm a bit surprised at this move, but again can be used versus sniper and of course hurt some of CPU's troops. Medic bunker up there, nothing further going on there for CPU and the German army. Oh, he actually is going for the light Mega Nose company. I mean, it was starting to look like a tier 3 rush, but seems to be a heavy tier 1 into tier 2, which again seems to be going slightly more common with the Wehrmacht. Tier 3 rushes seems to slightly be growing out of favour as heavy tier 1s into tier 2 suddenly become the big thing. And soon he'll need that with the AC out in a few moments. Still, grenades would be quite helpful here. Most British German players at the moment still don't expect it, though of course there's an increasing number who do. Particularly when they see a bulletin for, hey, hang on, he's going to have more range than his grenades. Snipers here watching, waiting for the other one to break cover and then, you know, get a eye full of bullets. Pushing up the eastern side here. Sections creeping in. Grenadiers filling up here on the west side. We got Grenadiers standing about. They need to be careful. And we got the AC Mark III out for Dots. AC standing for Associated Equipment Company. Was one of many types of armoured cars the British actually used. They had a lot of armoured cars throughout the war. This was just one of many. That's a fun note. The Russians actually briefly considered it, but in the end decided against it. But they're going to MG42 flanked by the AC, taking losses from the traction machine gun and the main gun. Almost down to half health. Infantry start following up here as well. Pack 40 following up there for CPU. They are this response here to the arrival of the British armoured car, which certainly threatens to always put them into a bit of a sticky situation. It is practically a light tank. Back here, still nothing going there for Dots. Still no decision making beyond the AC. And still no attempt to sort of do anything bigger with all of his sections, which is a bit surprising. Both sides continue to be doctrineless, but we got the Pack 40 out, the Panther Abwehr on the 40, an excellent anti-tank weapon able to deal with a lot of armoured threats. We got mines being laid down here by the British, modified M6. Don't know if the British actually used M6 mines. I suspect they would have had their munitions, and they had a lot of their munitions. Some of them are a lot more hazardous than others. For example, they had their own types of sticky bombs, but they had a very nasty habit of sticking to the one who threw it, which obviously is a bit of a problem. Alright, throw Lawrence. Oh, good Lord, Lawrence, it's stuck. Oh, well, never mind. You're dead anyways. Sniper here with 3 kills, British sniper with 2 kills. So far, despite having gone for an early sniper build, CPUC has not really been able to do much with the sniper compared to what Dots has. And there you go, see moving ahead. I'm just being bombarded here. Almost losing a section here. Sniper with 5 kills. We can see their CPUC is a bit more bold. And there you go, got the sniper. CPUC there. Got a bit careless for a moment, and that was all Dots needed to just pump him full of anti-tank rifle bullets. Quite a loss there for CPUC in the end. Quite a loss. Sniper hadn't done too much damage, so this just ends up being a big loss, and of course a big win for Dots, because with that he just earned in his sniper plus a few extra kills there. So that is pretty strong there for Dots, pretty strong, and could put CPUC in a pretty sticky situation. He's trying to turn this around by hitting the CoH points, which is definitely, I think, a strong counter move, at least briefly. So again, that way try and force him away from the front line to react, and of course just cut him off with fuel even for a few seconds here. So I like this move by CPUC, to be honest. I like this move, very good one, very aggressive. Back here we got take up there, so again 1 pack 40, which is, you know, what you'll see in these cases. Then into a tier 3 there with some armor. Back here in the British base, we got bolter sections up there for Dots, no grenade, but still bolstering there still does a lot, makes them tough, and of course gives them more damage since they get a 5th member. Very powerful upgrade, very powerful upgrade. Sniper there with 4 kills. But there you go. Dots is cut off from his resources. He is without the, well, anything actually. So this is, I mean, the longer that CPUs can keep this going, the better, because it really means there's going to be a resource disparity between the two. And that's certainly something that Dots needs to be very quick to fix, and so far isn't being super fast about it. As overall, CPUs just keeps pressing him. We got a Vickers up from Dots actually, which took a face full of rifle grenade. Gunner dealer setting out, noting no upgrade for CPUs' infantry, no light machine guns or anything like that. Gunner is forced away. Back at base, he can soon build a support core and actually begin pushing out for armor here versus Dots. And the guards armor division got the AC here being fixed up. All the while a dead German is lying on the ground. Maybe we should, you know, bury him or at least move him. It looks a bit unsettling. Don't be such a baby, Lawrence. It's just a dead German. Like, what's the worst he's gonna do? Turn into a zombie? That never happens, except in popular media. Mine down there, trench for the Vickers, an interesting move there by Dots. You don't see a lot of trenches from the Brits after, you know, they got essentially unlocked, but it seems like Dots is one of the few who still believes in the power of the trench, and certainly a good trench can still be a bastard to deal with for your opponent. But now they actually, you know, again, your enemy can use them against you. There's certainly been a drop off, but who knows, there might be a slight change in the metagame that certainly makes people realise, hang on, trenches are good, or at least useful. Over Blitz, they're providing a insurmountable fortress of cover against the British. My God, this Open Blitz, it can take so much punishment. Never mind, it just disintegrated. Like it was made out of plywood. It is made out of plywood. How do you know? We can't afford that. Then what is it made out of? Breadcrumbs? Oh, ah. Dots in good control, pushing out here. CPUs is starting here to withstand the might of Dots' assault here. Double bolted sections. But there you go, MD4 true flank from side grenades from the rifle. Oh! Quite nice attack there by CPUC. Quite nice attack. Rushing forwards through the branches and whatnot to just deal with them. Panther all the way for CPUC. Dots in the end is yet to take up. He's got a 6-pounder gun, but there's no armor immediately here. So it's going to be a bit of trouble here once CPUC's Panther 4 hits the field. Gunners moving up on the side there, Sniper falling back. Panther 4 almost down there for CPUC, almost down, section creeping about here. And another Vickers machine gun from Dot here to further keep the CPUC's infantry check, but he's not taking up though, which he probably should be doing, to be honest. I'm guessing CPU's infantry tactics are causing Dot to lose a bit of sight of potential other future hazards. But there you go. Panther arriving here for the 349th Volkskunde Division, sent in from a nearby Panzer Division. A small Panzer company has been attached to provide armoured support. Firing around the centre, mine goes off. Trench machine gun then needs to fall back. It's got punishment of flying effort. In this case, the Dots had foresight enough to try and get out there in time. Adding a pinlock machine to the Panther 4. Very good, very good. Moving out aggressively here, Dots once more finds himself on the defensive. Didn't, I think, quite put enough mines down. He does slow down the CPU. Panther moving up the western side, catching the section out in the open, engaging with machine gun gewehr in the centre, pushing up there with sniper support. Pioneers being sniped in the trench. Less ground there for CPU sees his Pioneers. Noting spot up a northern one, probably to help repair his tank, but also imagine minesweepers to sort of avoid getting caught up in any more mines. Particularly now he's got a tank on the field. Getting stuck in a mine in the wrong place could very well be a death sentence for the tank. One shot, 2 kills. Actually, yeah, 2 kills. And there goes sniper fire there, jamming the turret ring on the Panther 4. Bit unfortunate there for CPU. ASC flanking in. Gets a decent hit there with its 75mm cannon. And Dots is still not taking up. Dots is still not taking up. Seems reluctant to do so. Seems reluctant. AC on the hunt there's going to try and slow it down, I guess. But I'm not entirely sure what he's going to achieve with this, because he's got nothing to punish or finish off the Panther 4 with. I mean, the anti-tank, and I guess he could move in it, but it's just going to be too slow there. Scrubbing around the centre trench. Machine gun forced away. 6-pounder gun falling back. Dots continues not to take up, and neither side is yet to commit to doctrine versus the other. Section moving up. Back here. Nothing further going on there. AC's going to need some repairs. Though so is the Panther 4. Very badly. The AC was able to actually do a large amount of damage to the Panther 4, and that should not be underestimated. Like, the AC is surprisingly good versus medium, even heavier armor it can deal with, particularly flanks. So the AC should not be taken lightly in an armor engagement, particularly if it's supported by anti-tank weapons. It can do a lot of damage, and clearly Dots is aware of the efficiency of the AC. So fixing that up, pushing out the western side here with sections. Still no grenades from Dots though. Still no grenades. A lack of them. Sniper moving up, closing in on Veteran T2. Second flanking up behind here. Again, grenades would be quite welcome, I think, for Dots here. Obviously, CPUC would not welcome the addition of grenades to Dots' infantry, but that's not really his place to determine. There you go, machine gun flanked. I still think a grenade flank would have been quite helpful there. And I'm surprised that despite having this Doctor Trust. Oh! Section wiped by a rifle grenade. Good work there by CPUC. Catching off Dots there and leaving him a 1 section short. Sniper lands a good kill there. 12 killed. Gun is pushing force there. Light machine gun gewehr in large numbers. Great quantities. Gun is exposed to taking 5. Gun is section flanking up behind it. Need to be careful though. Need to be careful. He is finally taking up though. He is finally taking up. And there you go, rifle grenade number 2. This time though he dodges it. Sneaky flank there by CPUC just for that purpose. Machine gun attempt to cover the cutoff point. And did not set up well enough. Trying to set up here to cut. Ooh, just beyond the outer fire again. AC moving up. Vic is trying to get close enough. And there you go, Vic setting up. AC opening up. And there you go, gun it is caught out in the open, suppressed, taking heavy damage, forced to retreat, forced to run. And this could be next. There you go, another attempted rifle grenade. This time he just retreats. Losing that 1 section has clearly made Dots a bit sketchy around CPU's rifle grenades. By the way, could easily be going for another tank right now. Like, he's got the manpower, he's got the fuel. So there is easily room for another tank, to be honest. So I'm a bit surprised CPU isn't going for it. He might be too focused on what's going on the front line to realise he could push for another tank right now. But he definitely should get around to doing it. Dots is certainly working on the assumption he's going for a 6-pounder gun. Also, either player I think would also benefit a lot, in fact both would, from choosing a doctrine. Is he going for it again? Quick shot there. Takes a hit though from the Panzer IV, the Panther Conflict. Sit by Kidnap on the way there for CPU, so deal with armour. I'm saying a 6-pounder gun more. A Kidnap is not happening there for CPUs at all. Whoa, that was a complete brain fart. My apologies. That was a complete brain fart. A system error. But there you go. Panther on the way for CPUs. So sniper fire on the Panther 4 there. 6-pounder gun moves in, shoots and misses horrifically. Sniper fire gets a kill on the Pioneer. Second Panther 4 almost done there for CPU. Dots can soon go for a crumble. Panther moving hit. There goes into the 6-pounder gun. Going for the sniper of the machine guns, tearing through the poor fellow's shot. His skill is nothing before the might of the machine gun gewehr. Push back there. Oh dear, section about to run into an awful lot of grenadiers. I mean, this is where grenade would be pretty great for dots. You know, lots of grenadiers clustered tightly together. That's usually the environment where grenades going to be amazing. But sadly, again, he hasn't gone for it. Despite again having, you know, bulletins for it. I mean, extra range on grenades is usually pretty good, actually. In particular with extra veteran scenes, and usually most infantry gains extra range on their grenades and other stuff as they gain veterans. Suddenly having, you know, just a lot of range there can catch a lot of players off guard when they're suddenly throwing from quite far away there. Center on the way there for dots, standard choice. I would say a bit risky considering all the Panther 4's about. A bit risky, even with an AC and two like 6-pounder guns. It does feel, I think, rather risky there from dots to commit to a centaur now, but he could make it work. He could make it work. So I'm not going to rule that out. Panther 4 moving ahead. Going straight for the machine gun gewehr. Shoot, Ludwig, shoot! Before they make a run for it! Ah, scheiße. I told you, Ludwig, you're too slow. Too slow. Towers pushed back from the east as CPUs continues his unrelenting assault in service of fatherland, and poor Fritz pays with his life and his limbs. Mostly his life, though. And there you go. Double 6-pounder gun hits on the Panther 4. Bit of a blow there to CPUs. He's Panther Conflict. And we got the Centaur anti-aircraft tank out here for dots. Using a turret from the Crusader anti-aircraft tank as a fun fact. Sex moving up here. Ooh, sniper fire on the MD up north here. We got Sex put back by the Panther 4. Very close to a T2, by the way. It might have a good. Well, I don't think it's going to get on the section unless it gets some really lucky hits on the move. Could actually, maybe not. Maybe it might actually hit it there. It's actually getting a decent amount of experience from it. So, yeah, it might just hit it if I was wrong. There we go. Schutzen added to the Panther 4. Double 6-pounder guns moving up. Section moving up. The sniper's putting at the center. And Centaur is just sort of hanging back there. Note that the Centaur is not the name for the anti-aircraft tank itself. That's actually the name for the tank it was based on. The Centaur was sort of the intermediate step between the Crusader tank and the Cromwell, but the Crusader never really saw any action itself. Rifle grenade off again. Dots projecting quite a bit of strength here towards the car or the fuel there, but at the same time his flanks are weak, and in theory, like CPUs, could try and outmaneuver and destroy him with that. We got mechanized here for CPUs. First doctrine chosen at the 24-minute mark. Feels rather late here, to be honest. Feels rather late, but there you go. Dots continue to push ahead, and we got the center opening up in Pioneers, tearing into its 20mm Poston guns. Then he's trying to flank it, but hold here by a machine gun in the trench. We got spotting scopes out there for the Panther 4. An interesting choice there, but CPUs actually gives them technically more effective range since they can't actually see as far as they can shoot. Fun note. But at the same time, it requires them to stand still, so it's not necessarily super effective, but it's not a bad choice per se. You could consider here it's command tank versus dots to support tanks. There you go. Center there, pushed too far ahead by dots. And down to half health in the amount of moments. Whew, that was close. That could have been GG there for the Centaur, that is. But the pack missed. The Panther 4 did not. And there you go, flanking from the south here with Grenadiers and a machine gun. Very good move. Very good move. Panther 4, the rounds above, and the tank guns. Let's go. There goes. He's stopping up. Sniper fires well. Flying here, flanking further. Grenadiers being murdered here. It's looking a bit on corner. Oh, his sniper. He got a sniper and ran into a mine. It's a complete disaster here for CPU-EC. AZ going for the Panther 4. It's trying to escape here, but it got knocked out. A complete disaster here for CPU-EC. Complete disaster. He got the AC, but he lost a lot there. I'm not entirely sure what he's doing with the sniper there, to be honest, at that stage. That was just weird. And both Panther 4s went down, and CPU-EC does not have any other armor. It's going to take him time. Plus, he lost a lot of other things. Good God, that was an assault gone wrong. Badly. Another sniper. He's going for a third sniper and a Stu. That's madness. I mean, not the Stu, but the sniper choice. Particularly considering how easily lost the second one. I definitely feel like that's a really weak choice there for CPU-EC. Gets the Vickers wiped though. That's a good tactical victory there for CPU-EC. At least something to, you know, comfort himself with in this otherwise disastrous situation. Dart still remains without a doctrine. Versus CPU-EC remains without a doctrine. And Dots' sniper here by is 20 kills. The veteran 3 very closely around the corner. Sturmgeschütz out here for CPU-EC. Scopes on the way as well. Dots' Centaur quite heavily dinged up there, having suffered quite a bit of damage at the hands of the Germans. Sniper section moving up here, cautiously advancing through the terrain. Also, we finally got Brengens up here for Dots. He's been very slow, I think, upgrading his section, I would say, compared to most other British players. Veterans free. Got the British sniper. 1 kill, he gains veterans 1. A small relief there for CPU-EC, but again, he's lost 2 snipers before he got a kill on the enemy sniper. I mean, that sniper, no matter what, has earned himself in numerous times over. Comparatively, it took CPU-EC 3 tries to get a sniper that could earn itself in. Like, this is still pretty risky there for CPU-EC. So they still got good map control. We actually got a machine gun bunker covering one of the cutoff points in the south. And an interesting move there, an interesting move. CPU-EC following up another Panther 4 still does, so I think a sizable fuel lead over Dot, so he's trying to take advantage of that now, which is good. Though I don't think he should go for another infantry squad. As for Dot, he's actually going for another sniper here. I do think he should actually consider getting out some armor here versus CPU-EC, rather than trying to continue in the sniper duel here. But it seems like Dots is very much eager to pick up where, you know, things left off. Ooh, straight into the S-mines, got right there by CPU-EC. And there you go, shooting, getting the Vickers in the trench. Start moving around. Panzer IV as well there, with pin-up machine and spotting scopes on the way. He certainly likes his spotting scopes. And can this straight into the section. Double Brenz by the looks of it. Laying down heavy fire against the Grenadiers who quickly lose poor Friedrich. Let's try to put in there. Go Panther 4 though, turns the tides. Overwhelming here Dot's men as they simply do not have the firepower to stop that. Skirmish in the west is Duke moving in, ready to sort of thwart any British assault. Looks like he's switching everything towards these to deal with the Panther 4 there. CPUs can go for another Panther 4, another Stug, or you could go for the command tank. In theory, he could also try and take up for, say, tier 4, though I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. There you go, Centaur blasted here by the Panther 4. Spotted out in the open. Second shot though bounced rather unfortunately. Like a pebble against a solid brick wall. Cromwell away there for dots. No say attempted comments of Churchills. Been seeing a lot of Churchills lately, so I mean that could have been an option there for dots, but he's opting here for regular Cromwells, which is definitely not a bad choice either. Definitely not a bad choice either. Panther 4 waiting repairs, quite dinged up there. Heading now the cutoff point, very good move. I mean, again, note how CPU basically just avoids engaging dots and engagements he necessarily can't win. Instead, he's just hitting the points where dots isn't defending, but he actually has to defend, like the cutoff point. So this is some really good play there, to be honest. I think by CPU, really good play. I mean, a lot of players just kept bashing their head in here, trying to just break it down with sheer force, but like, if we just force him to engage him in terms to favour him more, I mean, that's pretty great for CPU, and that's so far what he's doing. So solid play there, solid play. Obviously not that it's risks either, but I would say he's much smarter than just trying to break through the centre. Panther 4 repairs, Bunker's about to get blown to bits here. In the west we can see dots is advancing, CPUC's men found themselves in a bit of a sticky situation. Centaur tearing through German infantry. Ooh, patch 40 shoots, misses. Target weak point. He could lose the centre here though. There he goes, down in front of the Pack 40. Bad news here for dots, and the Centaur gets blown to bits.
One of our Centaur anti-aircraft tanks has been lost.
Bit of a misplay there, I think, by dots. He should have been a bit more careful once the pack began opening up. Another Panther 4 there for CPU, and the float's going to really be shown. Sniper almost taken out here by the sections. Still no grenades though for dots. Still no grenades. Sniper trying to catch the sniper and retreat. Gets it. Third German sniper didn't go down. At least this one earned himself in a bit, but so the fight's had nowhere near the level of success here that Dots has enjoyed with his snipers. And he's still getting map control again. We got the Cromwell up for the centre. He's a bit careful. I mean, he hits a mine. It could easily be GG there for the Cromwell. In particular, there's a Stug nearby. And yes, sense one, but in this case it's heavily damaged and there's no mine to the left. I don't even think they're going to do this nearby. Oh, no mind, they are. Gets the Stug, gets the Stug. Panther fast on the Cromwell, damage in right in front of the second Pack 40. This could be pretty bad news if he doesn't get the Pack 40. Oh, he lost it. And now Dots has actually landed himself in a pretty precarious position there. His opponent's got two Panther 4s and he's got nothing but a single anti-tanker to stop it and some Piets. So Dots might just land himself in hot water, despite, you know, again, not too long ago giving CPUC quite a good beating. Well played there by CPUC, well played. Secondly caught by the Panther 4. Is he planning some sort of specialization? No, he is not. He could end up going here for Firefly, I suppose more Cromwells. The Centaur right now I think would be a bit of a mistake. Four kills close to veterans 1, 6 banner gun recruited by brave pioneers. Counter attack. But slightly losing ground here in the east. He's got nothing down to actually stop the Panther 4 here. And losing the 6 pounder gun actually makes it easier for CPU, since again that's one his opponent doesn't have. And it's one he can use against any armor Dots might get. So odds looking a bit rough here for Dots. They were looking good at one point, but losing all that armor so fast, I think, to a couple of I would say reasonably sizable misplays. I think rather undermined a bit there were Dots going from against CPU after he threw away 2 of his tanks. And wiped the section east. Good work there with the Panther 4. Machine guns, I think, also played a larger role there. Again, tank machine guns are surprisingly good, in particular remember to use them properly. 2 being suppressed to the M42, closing in on veteran 3 in fact. You got the Vickers continue to defend here for the centre.
The enemy have 300 points.
Opponent down to 3 in victory points, but he's down 104, and he's going for another center. Oh, I feel that's a bit of a weak move here by Dutch, to be honest. I mean, there's still a lot of armor on the field. CPU's is going for Panzer gun. Oh, he's cancelled that, going for another Panzer 4. He's going for a third Panzer 4. And like, the problem is he's got one 6-pounder gun and theoretically a center moves from Piet to try and stop 3 Panzer 4s. I would say that is not good mathematics that favour Dots at all. He's not, you know, a line of arithmetic that favours him at all. And now he's going for anvil tactics. I mean, versus several Panzer IVs with Churchill can be surprisingly good, but resource-wise, I don't think he can actually get away with it easily. But he's going to try opposite, he's going to try with it, and in that regard, there's I think an increase over on British players going for Churchill tanks, as they are pretty difficult to take out, can soak up a lot of damage, and can also, you know, fight most medium tanks head-on. So, like, the Churchill is certainly, I think, catching up in the British meta, and that's clearly what the direction here Dots is following as well. We'll have to see if he can do better with it than he did with his Cromwells and Centaurs. Point there secured. Mines dodged barely by the Pioneers. There we go. More upgrades. More British infantry moving ahead. Minesweepers up. Second 6-pounder gun away there for Dots as he stalls now for the Churchill tank. Mighty British armour. Alright, chaps, our plan is to dig in, attack, and then stall for the Churchill tanks. Oh, what? We dig in and then we attack? Yes, it's a brilliant plan. The Germans won't ever see it coming. How about we try not to get killed? Not an option. Not an option, I'm afraid. But there you go. Did go for Panzer Grenadier here. Panzer IV, they're hanging back, supporting. Pinlock machine on the way, plus spotting scopes, obviously. There we go. We're going to see, I think, an assault from several points here. At least an attempt at it, but in this case, they're entertaining to stop the Panzer IV in its tracks. Piet's not particularly increasing his chance of wanting to do this. Panzer IV binding again, making use of the spotting scope to far along. As you can see there, I mean, normally a Panzer IV would be able to shoot that far there, at least on its own, because again, it can't see that far. With the spotting scope, it's sort of more able to just operate independently and just bombard. But of course, the part with infantry can shoot, you know, that far as well. 6-pounder guns are tearing apart one of his Panzer IVs. He does seem to be careful around those 6-pounder guns. I mean, they can quickly do a lot of job. There we go. And he might actually use the Panzer IV as bait to allow the other Panzer IV to flank in behind them. In which case, good idea there. Though he should have kept them gotten closer to the 6-pounder gun instead of parking up right in front of them. And there you go, bound green, one entertain gun. Oh, gets it. Both 6-pounder guns are out of commission. Quickly recruiting one, but still, it's a bit of a loss there. And he's actually going for more. By the looks of it, he's got a third anti-tank gun out, but he's also getting very, very close to the Churchill tank. In fact, he is pretty close to having it. He just needs a few more points of fuel, and then, boom, Churchill time. CPU uses Panthers, and meanwhile they need repairs, but they have, they performed reasonably well. But we, of course, will see how well they perform against a Churchill tank. You should definitely be careful not to hand out any anti-tank guns to his opponent. That would be pretty, I think, critical there. Just like the more anti-tank fire can direct against the Churchill, the better for CPU easy. Dark Brothers yet to choose a doctrine. Seems like he's not sure. I mean, again, overall, like in this current situation, most of the doctrines actually don't help him a lot. Like some of them much more early game, and mobile assault on this map just doesn't quite do what you want. So I guess it could be part of these dots there not having the doctrines he wanted to. And just being indecisive. Troops are healing, reinforcing. Churchill away there for Dots. Sappers rolling forward. Strange machine gun fire though there. Almost ace level on that. Almost ace level. And there we go. Ace machine gun crew. There we go. Churchill out here for Dots. Churchill tank out. Rolling forwards for King and Country. They're Commonwealth. Sniper routine and Grenadiers moving in. In the Far East, troops holding about here as well. Push for the centre, troops moving about. Light machine guns being generously firing in the general direction of the Germans. Giving a nice heaping of British hospitality and almost taking out the gunners. There we go. Churchill finishes off and signals to CPUs. If you didn't hear the rumbling of the engine there, that there's a Churchill in the field. I mean, the Churchill tank makes a very distinct sound, by the way. So, like, if you hear that, you know there's a Churchill in the field. Right now, CPUs also the issue is tanks are actually heavily split up, so the Churchill could theoretically take them on each one by one and deal with them that way.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
Shot bounced. Crashing more cover.
Skyline's been cut. Infantry tank ready to go.
Pushing ahead here with the Churchill tank. No opposition whatsoever. Needs to be careful, doesn't it? Extending, you know, just lives in this bad spot where it can't easily get out of it. There go pack shoots, penetrates the Churchill's armour. Target a weak point, stuns the Churchill, run from the pack 40. Really bad news here for Dots, really bad news. Second hit. Pop smoke, disengages, falls back.
Ready for instructions.
Section being suppressed here. There you go, done with the smoke, and the west section force away. Panther all they're heavily damaged though. Churchill bombarding gun it is in the south here. We got Panther flank being caught here by the sappers with P8s. Machine gun also exposed. Still no doctrine from Dots. And Panther they're getting hit by the P8s. One penetrates, one bounces. Vigor's pushed away, and he's going to try and destroy it. And just wipe it. Doesn't quite land it.
Heavy tank ready. We're losing a capture point.
120 here versus 280. Looking rather low on victory points there. CPUs continue to control the other parts of the map, as I think Dots put too much focus on the centre there. Churchill sweeping in. Catching the Panzer gun at the out in the open. 6-pounder gun there, in fact, gets spotted and assaulted. Could very well wipe it. And that actually means once he does that, Dots will have very few counters to the tanks. And we got a 4th Panther 4 for CPUC, a 4th Panther 4. That's a lot of Panther 4s. Grenades off here, into the trench. Another target weak point there, stunning up the Churchill tank again. And 4th Panther 4 there is almost done. I think he's just got too much pop cap here, just too much. Oh, no, mind, it hits. But he's now at 99 population points there.
They're trying to take it.
And there you go, flanks in here from the south with the Panther 4. Other Panther 1 from the other end. Very good, very good. Nice pincer maneuver here by him, and then following up on the frontal assault. Very good, very good. Catching a lot of dots and stuff here in between several points here. Remaining Panther 4 still not joining in. Might have been a mistake there. Other Panther 4 moving out. And the other one there being around. There we go. Dots renders. Outmaneuvered here by CPUs. He ends up giving up. No doctrine though. Again, seems like he just didn't know what to choose. Partly because he might not have felt any of his doctrines actually suited the situation here. And certainly means you always need to be careful about what doctrines you've got there amongst your commanders. So there you go, a brutal engagement here on Minsk Pocket, featuring some really good control of the card points there for CPUC, ensuring he doesn't get into focus into the centre, just bashing his head in. Comparatively, Dots here made the mistake, I think, focusing on the centre again, trying to take head on, not trying to outmaneuver his opponents. CPUC was able to exploit that, slowly building up control. Even after the big assault, we actually failed because, you know, just didn't quite work out. The costume was all his armour plus a lot of infantry. He was able to bounce back because, again, Dots was just so focused narrowly on the map that he just couldn't, you know, take advantage of the damage he inflicted on CPUC. So, I mean, try to keep, you know, an open and flexible mind when you deal with the map. This is Imperial saying cheers, thank you for watching, hope to see you all tomorrow for another exciting episode. This is Imperial signing off for now. You're all a wonderful audience. Cheers.